right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got another video from the #2 Kurobot, Mr. Glaive Keo. And this time it's going to be focusing on, well, a pretty contentious topic in the Wuthering Waves space, all about its story. Because there's been a lot of videos, there's been a lot of controversy, a lot of people talking about how, I don't know, stuff like Wuwa 2.2 was very mediocre. I think that there was a popular CC making videos about that, and then they've already gone ahead and they've apologized for it. Yeah, I think that's occurred. And so I think Glaives made this in response. How Wuthering Waves' 2.2 storytelling shames Hoyoverse Games' story quest. Yeah, bro has the longest titles in Gacha gaming. And so with that, let's go ahead and see what sort of glue he's brought to the conversation. Let's hear him out and see what's going on.
You know what separates a forgettable story from one that keeps you up at 2 a.m., wishing that you can experience it for the first time again. It is not just the plot, it is how it's told. And Wuthering Waves 2.2 is proof that storytelling can take a decent idea and make it great, or a great one and send it straight into absolute cinema. When they get it right, it is like the glue in the system. Every twist, every reveal sticks with you. And 2.2 is the backbone of a quest that I can't shake. But here's the flip side. Screw it up, and even the most brilliant concept turns into a dull recap that you would press the skip button for. If your game has a skip button, that is. If it doesn't, then I guess you're just gonna be mashing buttons.
And I feel like this is something that people are always coping about when it comes to Wuwa.
Oh, Wuthering Waves has a skip button because the story is so bad. Yeah, why would the devs put a skip button in the game unless the story was trash?
They say that so often. They say that so frequently. When in reality, it's so simple. It is so absurdly simple, it's ridiculous. If you're not confident enough in your story to put in a skip button, that means that that game's story, the one without a skip button, the Genshin Impacts, the Honkai Star Rails, and we've seen it proven over and over again across the recent patches. Those are the games with dog shit stories. Because believe me, if there was a skip button in Honkai Star Rail, and after what we've seen in version 3.0 to 3.2, that thing would have been slammed so many times by every single player, it would have been fucking ridiculous. Because who's gonna sit through 8 hours of dialogue slog for a story in Amphorius that they don't give a shit about? Because nobody cares, but they're forced to experience it anyways. While in Wuwa, that skip button isn't being used. That skip button is not being used because people are actually paying attention. The story is like 4 hours for a story-related patch, and the player actually feels like their time is being respected.
I have seen gacha games fumble that bag so many times. Still images with a 20-minute exposition dump, or say, I don't know, promising to ditch those black screen white text walls only to serve up white screens black text like it's a glow up. Hey,
Flashbang. Yep, I'm sure the players fucking love that one when they were in bed playing at like 8, 9 p.m. getting ready to go to sleep after their story session. I'm sure they loved getting their fucking face lit up like a goddamn Christmas tree. Yep, totally. Devs listened. Awesome job, guys.
Serve up white screens black text like it's a glow up. A bold move, devs. You have outdone yourselves here. Oh my god, the devs technically listened. Meanwhile, Wuthering Waves 2.2 says, nah, I'd win. I am borderline obsessed with how Wuthering Waves has dialed this in for 2.2. I have heard so many people calling it peak, and I am inclined to agree. It is definitely execution done right. So where does this magic kick off? With this sound that pulls you in deep, the music. Now, if the voices in your head has been bothering you lately and you want to break from it, let's listen to the music in 2.2 because it's grabbing your entire soul and running with it.
Bro managed to just monetize music from the game. Hey, that's impressive. That is impressive. Yeah, they're not gonna copyright you from playing music. I feel like it hasn't been stated enough how good the music in Wuthering Waves has gotten ever since 2.0, and honestly even I think honestly since version 1.3. The music in the game has been like really fucking good. I honestly think it's even comparable, and in some ways actually even better than the stuff that we're seeing in Genshin Impact. I know a lot of people, right, applaud Genshin Impact for the music, but I don't even think that Wuthering Waves is worse in any way. I'm pretty sure you could say that they're straight up like comparable in terms of the quality.
This isn't just some loud background playlist you play while streaming to keep your viewers from falling asleep. This is the heartbeat of every single scene. The fuel that takes a solid moment and launches it into epic territory. Picture this, right? A massive showdown, weapons clashing, stakes through the roof. And then the score hits with this pulse-pounding rhythm that syncs up with your adrenaline. And it all happens whether you're ready or not. It is not optional. The tracks turn a bittersweet cutscene into the kind of sob fest that has you reaching for tissues between dialogue. dialogues. I got chills, actual chills. When one particular track dropped during the final battle, it is pure fire, bro. The kind of sound that lingers long after you've closed the game. But let's be real, if they flub this,
All right, I'm just gonna say like a bit of a miss for Glaive when it comes to this vid. I feel like subtitles this long are like a little distracting, and I feel like there's too many of them.
right? If they slapped some generic elevator music on the pivotal scene, the whole mood would have tanked faster than the stock market recently. Imagine you watch a really important character in the story die, and then before you can even process what happened, you hear, "You are my special." It ruins everything. You would be left feeling nothing instead of everything. 2.2 doesn't make that mistake. It leans in hard and setting the stage for something even bigger. And
Has that happened in like Genshin or Honkai Star Rail or like those games like that?
what is amplifying that sound? My answer is the visuals that is framing every moment. Because if music is setting souls on fire, the cinematography in 2.2 is here to flex and remind you that this is not just a game, it is a movie
HSR with Firefly? Oh.
level storytelling. No glaze, just facts, baby. The way that they handle the camera is pure chef's kiss, turning every scene into something fun or heavy depending on what it needs. Take the fight scene between Fleur-de-Lis and Rover, the best fight scene in the entire gacha space in my opinion. Goosebumps City, no exaggeration. I felt it in my G-spot. You've got these dynamic cameras circling the fight, wide shots of the battle. It literally makes it feel like the strongest versus the strongest, bro.
Yeah, I'd have to say that aside from that really odd comment prior to this section of the video, I agree with him. I feel like every person can unequivocally say this was probably the best fight cutscene in gacha gaming. This was probably the best fight cutscene in gacha gaming. I don't think anything else really even comes close to the level of production quality. There's like a lot of minor details, like Rover like fucking kicking the sword that Fleur-de-Lis throws at them and then like riding it like fucking Yan Qing from Honkai Star Rail, doing like a bunch of shit, transitioning between all the different attributes, using all their different weapons, using the newly acquired attribute arrow as well. Yeah.
The close-ups on their faces making you feel the tension of it. It is legit a
Oh yeah, this scene over here is the framing on this one is so badass, it's unbelievable. The cinematography here, it doesn't even look like you're in the arena anymore. That's how much power is like being gathered. That's how much aura is going on.
It is legit a visual feast. When I saw that, it got my glue everywhere. And I admit, I kept rewinding just to catch every frame. It is that captivating when they get it right. People are calling it cinematic gold, absolute cinema, and I agree because when it hits, it hits.
True.
If they had fumbled this with like clunky angles or bad cuts, or even worse, black screen and white text, baby. Rover is fighting Fleur-de-Lis. That is so epic. Like what? It would be a mess. Heck, it would feel insulting to play that kind of game. My opinion. 2.2 doesn't stumble there. It is building something massive. But if you have been paying attention so far, who do you think is the center of this epic frames? That's right, the answer is your main character, Rover.
I'm gonna have to play this video again because it's still disgusting to me just what goes on in this cutscene. You might have seen this a lot of times if you're familiar with my channel, but there's a reason why I keep replaying it. You got Traveler over here, you got Ryosley and Chlorine dealing with the primordial water in
Just like I
Fontaine.
said.
Where if the primordial water overflows, it will drown the city and kill everybody and dissolve them, right? It's just like, oh, badass. He freezes it, right? So cool. Look, Chlorine's over here. Just covers her face, right? She just covers her face. No big deal. Look, like, what a pussy. This is who you're playing. This is who you're controlling the entire game. And they're literally, she's just chilling. A random unit from Fontaine is just chilling. You're literally getting blown away like a little bitch. You're supposed to be strong, right? And then over here, right? The water cracks. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-O. Oh, what's Traveler gonna do? Ryosley's gonna die. What's Traveler gonna do? Oh, Traveler's surely gonna do something, right? Oh, he's running. He's running.
3.
Oh, she gives the nod. She's
2,
counting it down.
1.
Boom. All right. All right. What's Traveler gonna do? Surely Traveler's gonna help, right? Oh no. Oh, okay. They'll do something to secure it.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about...
All the MC did in that cutscene was get blown away by the wind and then run. Bro is actually just watching. This is the main character. This is who I'm supposed to be playing. This guy is just a pussy. He's literally useless.
While the music and visuals painting 2.2's world, the main character is carrying you through it. If you caught my video the other day talking about Rover and how they're great main characters, you would know that I got thoughts. But basically, back in the day, Rover was this blank slate, right? A silent avatar for us to project onto while we chased echoes and waifus. Well, not anymore. In 2.2, they got a voice, a lot of dialogues, a vibe, and suddenly it is you in the game. Woo.
Yeah, and the VA for the main character isn't a paycheck thief like they are in Genshin. Yeah, I'm gonna be real here. Some might find offense to this. The VA for the Traveler in Genshin Impact is just stealing a paycheck. They're literally getting paid to just sound like they're taking a shit. They're literally getting paid to just like grunt. Seriously? That's crazy.
Ooh, every step feels like it matters because Rover is not just coasting, they are in it. When they are locking in on a clutch moment or standing firm.
And this is the thing, right? It's not even their fault. I'm pretty sure if they actually had lines to voice, if they were actually given an actual fucking script to read, they would do a good job. It's just they're not getting anything from Hoyo. They're not getting anything from the writers. It's the writer's fault, not their fault. They're a paycheck thief by accident. I'm pretty sure when they got the role, hey, do you want to be the main character of Genshin Impact? They thought, wow, this is gonna be a crazy role. I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot to do and a lot to say. Yeah, that never happened.
When they are locking in on a clutch moment or standing firm against the odds, you are not just watching a cutscene, you are in the chaos with them. And I have heard the buzz about this topic, right? Players are saying that it makes every plot feel personal, and I get it. But it also doesn't make it bland with all of these self-insert characters in the gacha game genre, right? It's like you can put yourself staring down fleur-de-lis, Princess carrying Cartatia herself, collecting wives and husbandos left, right, and center.
Yeah, a lot of people had massive critiques for Wuwa's storytelling or Wuwa's like story flow earlier on in the story, like in versions like 1.3 and 1.4.
Oh, this is just gathering wives. They're only focusing on like one character a patch.
Let's be real here. Looking back on it, maybe focusing on like one or two characters a patch actually wasn't a bad thing. Because that means the MC gets so much more screen time. The MC gets like so much more characterization. And they're not this useless piece of shit that just sits there doing nothing the entire game. Because if Wuwa tried to market their characters and just have only the characters interacting with each other like they do in Genshin or HSR, then we wouldn't have the level of characterization we have for the MC, the actual bond we have with the MC, and actually care about them like we do right now.
I mean, don't judge me, it is that immersive. The self-insert in Wuthering Waves, it feels like they turned it into an anchor and not a lifeless shell. And it's got me hooked, I'm gonna be so for real. If you want to learn more about that, you better watch the other video I did. After this video, of course.
They can't sell the MC. However, they can sell the units. Hoyo is money heavy driven. Yeah, that's true. I guess this is the thing, right? Maybe the way to sell the MC, right, is to make the MC, it's to make you want to play the MC, and then they release limited characters that work well with the MC. And so you pull the limited characters because you want to use the MC. I feel like some people could view that as predatory, but now that I look back on it, that's not really even that bad because there are so many usable characters that are still meta. It's not even like the HSR strategy. And I'll tell you why it's not like the HSR strategy. Because every team in Wuthering Waves, every meta team that's established is still viable. You guys know the Gian, Verena, Mortifi team that people made in version 1.0 of the game? It's still a top tier team. Using the MC is completely 1,000,000% optional. They don't even have to be slotted in on some of the strongest teams in the game. The strongest team in the game right now is currently Carlotta, Shorekeeper, and Jeja in the TOA. That team will get you the best possible clear times. The MC is not in there. And so people are pulling these newer units because they're new and they like them. And also because, well, they want to use the MC in combat as well. Versus HSR, where if you're not using the MC, good luck clearing MOC.
But anyways, that's not the only thing that makes it pop off like that. I think the voice acting is bringing them into life as well. I'm gonna be so honest, they're doing some heavy lifting here. I've talked about it multiple times before, but can you blame me?
Bro's talking about the voice acting in Wuwa. Why is he still using the female MC then? The male VA for Wuwa's voice acting is just so much better. It's unbelievable. It's actually like night and day comparing the two.
I'm a sucker for voices, okay? And yes, I watched every ASMR girlfriend comforting me to sleep videos on my timeline. Not the one made by Captain Cabinets though, that genuinely gave gave me nightmares. But anyways, the voice acting in Wuthering Waves 2.2 isn't just good. It's the spark that makes every character feel like they could walk off the screen and into your room. As creepy as it may sound, I think I would be into it, personally. No, I'm not lonely, by the way. I'm
Just watch the Midnight Podcast then, buddy. That's the most parasocial shit that Wuwa has released. I'll fucking prove it. This ain't for me, but it might be for you.
Are you awake? Well, when I arrived in the garden, I found you already dozing off. It seems like you've had another long day running around everywhere, doesn't it? That must be exhausting.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, but yeah, maybe it'll be good for you, Glaive buddy boy.
just like, you've got Karathea with this cute shy girl charm, or Rover's raw aura that is all determination and heart, or Glaive Kyo, the anime guy, or not really the anime guy, aren't I? Their every line lands like it's the most badass anime character ever. And it's not just about filling the silence, right? It is about making you laugh with them, tense up when they shout, or hold your breath in when the scenes are sinking. The voice acting performances add a whole layer of depth that makes you root for these characters really hard. And I'll be honest, there was a moment in the story where I completely forgot reality because I was so caught up listening. It is that immersive when it's done right. But here's the kicker, if the delivery is off, right? If you get those flat phoned in lines, it's like someone unplugged the whole vibe. A supposedly tense standoff becomes a snooze fest, and you are left scrolling TikTok on your phone instead of caring about the story anymore.
Like 1.0 with Yang Yang. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll call a spade, brother, man. Yeah, that's basically kind of just 1.0 with Yang Yang. I'm glad they fixed that.
Really reminds me of the beginning of Wuthering Waves, right? In launch especially.
Not pre-watched, by the way.
Yang is so flat. I mean, the voice acting like the character. Rover has no soul, but everything since then has changed. And I'm so glad that it did, because now Wuthering Waves nails it. And it is setting us up for something even more intense. Because what is amplifying all of this emotion? I think it's also the facial expressions. It is something quieter that is still pulling its weight. The facial animations, right? These aren't just pretty details. They are doing some serious heavy lifting here.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that facial animations and like interactive dialogues and like cutscenes are like good? No way. Guys. Come on. We all know that Honkai Star Rail makes more money than Wuthering Waves, guys. And so Honkai Star Rail is clearly doing everything better, dude. Everything is better in Honkai Star Rail. I need more of this shit in my life. This is long. Oh my, this is long. Oh, sorry. I forgot about this banger over here. Honkai Star Rail is clearly the superior game. As you all saw right there, clearly the superior game.
Stacking layers onto the stakes without even trying. Well, I guess you are trying, but it lifts it up. You catch a sight of Karathea being shy and blushing, or Chakona being absolutely adorable.
This is such a good scene at the start of the 2.2 quest. Like, I feel like this sold the character for so many people. It was absolutely ridiculous. I feel like everyone loves her.
You slept over her music performance, or not Camellia. Hey, who's her name again? Or the emotions Cantarella is showing and the impact on her sacrifice.
I respect it, Glaive. I mix up Camellia, Carlotta, and Cantarella all the time. I mix the three of them up still to this day.
Or Fleur-de-Lis from being shocked to making a relieved smile that hits you right in the gut. It is all there in the eyes and the lips. It is the kind of thing where you feel exactly what they are going through. And it makes every moment land harder than a maxed out crit stat. Players are pointing out to stuff like the Cantarella twist, saying that those expressions are what turn a solid reveal into something that you're still thinking about during your next play session. It's the way that this scene captures the emotions and the impact of her sacrifice. It is definitely the best non-cutscene moment of 2.2. When they nail it like this,
I think you're gonna have a talk with your editor. Why aren't they playing the cutscene? Why are they showing the cutscene from 2.0, buddy boy? Guys, this isn't even a B-roll police moment. We're showing a cutscene from 2.0.
and the impact of her sacrifice. It is definitely
Oh, looks like somebody's getting a stern talking to.
the best non-cutscene moment of 2.2. When they nail it like this, it is seamless. You are locked in. But what if they've gone stiff or off with those faces? It would be like a puppet show with the strings showing, yanking you out of the story faster than a server crash. No wonder in these gacha games, people are begging for a skip button. No shot, because your storytelling is that bad. 2.2 Wuthering Waves nails it, polishing every detail to shine, and when all of these pieces, music, visuals, characters, voices, faces, you get something unforgettable. Okay, let's just wrap this up, right? Because 2.2 is where Wuthering Waves
We've already shown enough of HSR. What I showed you as an excerpt from HSR was actually the 3.2 story quest. And let's be real here. I'll just play a single frame from that dog shit video. Why does a person need to talk this much? Why would an NPC need to talk this much? Who talks this much in a one-on-one conversation in real life? This doesn't even feel like normal, regular people speaking. This is clearly a casual one-on-one thing. It's a fucking paragraph. Am I supposed to pay attention to them?
Okay, let's just wrap this up, right? Because 2.2 is where Wuthering Waves ties it all together and just nails it. You've got music that slaps you awake during every worthy moment, voices that grip you like you're part of the crew, faces that say everything without a word, rovers stepping up as your avatar in the fray, and camera shots that stun you into silence. It is not just a checklist, it is a symphony of storytelling flex that hits every note. When you nail every piece like this, it is not just some forgettable side quest. It is a masterpiece that you're still mulling over even after you close the game. People are calling this peak, with folks saying that it's the best story the game's ever done, and I'm not here to argue. This isn't just another update, it's the devs flexing how it's supposed to be done, showing off what happens when every gear clicks.
I guess there are still going to be some CCs calling it mediocre, though. What happens when you click that button up here? Yeah, when you click that button up here, every single time there's a dialogue in the game, that is what's happening.
If they had tripped on any of this, we would be shrugging right now, not cheering. Imagine a half-baked version where nothing lands. Well, you don't really need to imagine. You could just play Honkai Star Rail.
And let's be real, you could also just play parts of Wuthering Waves 1.0 because the storytelling in 1.0 is not as good as a lot of parts in 2.0. And the thing is, this level of improvement, this level of just like higher quality, this level of just like investment into actually making something enjoyable for the players, I'm gonna be real, I don't think a single person on the Honkai Star Rail dev team actually played the game. I find it impossible to believe that there's a single person on the actual dev team, on the writing team, right, that went through this entire thing. I would love to see proof that these devs are actually play testing the story of the patches that they're releasing, because one playthrough would be enough for them to realize this is dog shit. It's just not good. It's not enjoyable. Imagine playing your own game. Yeah, finish the vid.
You are my special.
Okay, whoever told me to finish the vid, you're getting banned. That was a pretty banger vid. I loved all the facts that he was spitting. I'm gonna be real, the language did get a little bit flowery at times. Maybe Glay's been taking some fucking creative writing classes. Definitely a different vibe for this one. And I do gotta say, yeah, the subtitles, sometimes less is more, buddy boy. I don't think we needed this many subtitles. Maybe a couple at the start, but as we're, you know, progressing through the video, I don't think it's necessary. Also, there was like a lack of memes in this one. There was a lack of memes in this one. I don't know if it took away too much from it, but usually we are, you know, getting blasted in the face by like a bunch of different like animes and shit. And I feel like maybe some of your viewers are missing that. That's my take on the whole thing. I think Glade did a great job. I think he brought up some great examples. And I'm glad that we were able to bring examples over from Genshin Impact and Star Rail to talk about why those games are a little doo-doo water. So with that, let me know what you all think. Peace.